Let us prepare ourselves for light meditation. Sit in a comfortable position with your back straight, with your hands on your lap, your palms facing upwards, your index finger and thumb touching gently. Relax your eyes, your face, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, and your entire body. Feel all tension leave the body. Breathe deeply and slowly. Breathe in and breathe out. Calm your mind. Look at the flame at the tip of the candle. See how brightly and beautifully it burns. Keep looking at the flame steadily. Now, gently close your eyes. See the flame glow in between your eyebrows. Let the light of the flame fill your entire head with divine warmth and energy. Let this light now move to the lotus of your heart, lighting up the path as it travels. As the light reaches your heart, see the petals of the lotus open up one by one as it blossoms gently, bathing every thought, feeling, and emotion in the light. Now there is no place for darkness to hide. There is no more darkness within your body. Gently take the light down to both your arms and hands. See the light burning brighter and more powerfully as it reaches your arms and hands. These arms and hands will always help those in need and carry out its duty. They have become instruments of light and love. Take the light down to both your legs and feet. The light burns brighter and more powerfully as it reaches your legs and feet. These legs will never go to undesirable places. They have become instruments of light and love. Let the bright white light reach up to your tongue. Falsehood vanishes from it. You will only speak softly and lovingly with all. Let the light rise up to your nose. The light burns away all impurities in your breath and cleanses the air you inhale. Let the light rise up to your eyes and destroy all bad vibrations. You will only see that which is good. Your eyes have become instruments of light and love. Take the light to your ears and destroy all bad vibrations. You will only hear that which is good. Let your head be surcharged with light. All bad thoughts and worries flee from your mind, leaving you immersed in peace. Imagine that the light is in you more and more intensely. Feel the light grow stronger and brighter in ever widening circles as it surrounds your entire body. The light continues to grow, taking in your family, friends, enemies, strangers, and all living beings throughout the entire world. Picture God within this immense light. This light and the Lord are one. God and the light are one. Stay on in that thrill of witnessing light everywhere. Let us pray. O Lord, take my love and let it flow in full devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work unceasingly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it merge in perfect oneness with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and let my thoughts be in tune with Thee. O Lord, Take my everything and let me be an instrument for thee. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can now gently open your eyes.
Mahaganapathey Namostutey. Mahaganapathey Namostutey. Mahaganapathey Namostutey. Matanga Vandana Namostutey. Matanga Vandana
आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम नारायण साई नारायण सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण साई नारायण नारायण साई नारायण नारायण साई आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम नारायण साई नारायण नारायण साई प्रेम स्वरूप ब्रह्मानंदा सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण सच्चिदानंद हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण साई नारायण नारायण साई नारायण साई आनंदड़ा आनंद श्याम नारायण साई
जय 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 हे मधुसूदना जय 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 हे मधुसूदना जय वृंदावन मनमोहना
ज्योति जलाओ साई मन मंदिर में, ज्योति जलाओ साई मन मंदिर में, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ, अखंड ज्योति स्वरूपा तुम हो दिव्य स्वरूपा, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ, अखंड ज्योति जलाओ,
Sai Ram. Does anyone know what the meaning of Aradhana is? We have Aradhana, who's our SSC Group 1 child, and her name is Aradhana. So what's the meaning of your name? Worship. Okay. So Aradhana means worship or prayer. And this weekend's offering is a string of prayers that we dedicate to our dearest Swami. And first, we begin with the Sai Pancharatnas, which is a musical bouquet of 5 songs in Telugu, specially written and composed by Dr. Vasanta Lakshmi of Sri Sathya Sai Mirpuri College of Music. The songs are in classical Carnatic style in adoration of Bhagwan. They were first presented on the occasion of Aradhana Mahotsavam in 2015. Today, we're offering 2 of those songs, the first being Pranamami Saisha, which offers salutations to Swami for graciously taking birth in human form to shower love and compassion and guide us on the path of Dharma. The second song, Sathya Sai Avatara Vaibhavam, reminds us that Swami is the source of primal sound, that is, Om. Swami loved music and loved it best when there was a harmony of bhava, raga, and tala. This song further reminds us that bhakti without karma and jnana would be incomplete. What is karma and jnana? For Swami, karma translated as love all, serve all. And jnana meant there is only one religion, the religion of love. Let us sit back and soak in this reverential offering at his lotus feet on this auspicious day.
Shakti Rupa Ganapathey Vandana
Sa ni pa ni sa ni sa ga sa ma ga sa pa Sathya Sai Aradhana Mahotsavam. Sathya Sai Aradhana Mahotsavam. Nityanootanam Sathya Sanathanam. Sathya Sai Aradhana Mahotsavam.
Om Shri Sai Ram. On this Aradhana Day, we are so fortunate to be able to come together, even in the midst of a global health emergency far greater than one that we have ever lived through. During this time, as we are trying to stay safe at home, essential workers are on the front lines, facing the world and the challenges of this global pandemic. Our healthcare workers, food industry and agriculture workers, transportation workers, social services and manufacturing sector workers have been putting in heroic efforts to keep us functioning as a society through all this anxiety, loss, and grief. Today, as we commemorate Aradhana Day, we've made a small effort to share the perspectives of those working the front lines in healthcare. We hope that you will take inspiration from their words, and we pray that all healthcare workers may continue to find reservoirs of faith and strength as they support our most vulnerable members of society during this time. And so, we bring to you the voices of 2 registered nurses from Ontario to speak to us about working the front lines with Sai. Mrs. Meena Patel is a registered nurse in Ontario. She works in the neonatal intensive care unit and is the administrator for the neonatal resuscitation program and the stable program at her hospital site. Mrs. Meena Patel has been a nurse for 27 years and a practicing registered nurse in Canada for the last 22 years. Meena Auntie, as we know her at the center, has been an active member at the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Toronto, York for 23 years. Her entire family is involved at various levels, and Meena Auntie herself is currently one of our spiritual wing coordinators.
We offer our humble and loving pranams at your divine lotus feet, our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and to all beings in this universe. Dear elders, sisters, brother, and our children, Om Shri Sai Ram. We offer our gratitude to God, our loved ones, essential workers, and all of you staying at home to keep each other safe during this pandemic. How is everyone feeling during Aradhana Mahotsavam? Please take a minute to reflect. Give yourself a big hug, and when you do it, embrace our Mother Earth and all her children and give them all a hug, a beautiful smile. And now bring your hands together as Namaste and acknowledge everyone in the universe around you. Extend your love, peace, joy, and gratitude to everyone for doing their personal best during these uncertain times. Let's connect to ourselves and count our blessings even during these uncertain times. Thank you. Hope most of you are safe at homes and have had the time to connect with yourself with all things you had put on hold because of busy schedule and pressing demands. For me, This year has been one of personal reflection as a human and divine being, and as a professional too. You may ask me why. 2020 is International Year of Nurses and Midwives. Was no ordinary ask in aligning with needs of universe. We have our global pandemic crisis. Our hopes are fueled by us coming together as one to walk our talk. Live the pledge we took after graduation. Feels like yesterday. It's 27 years for me, and my love for the calling has only deepened. Hope to be a squirrel in Lord's play. Yes, you heard it right. We all have heard about Ramayana, in which a bridge had to be built to get Lord Rama's army from India to Sri Lanka to rescue Mother Sita. This task was not easy, however, made possible by the big monkeys by writing Lord Rama's name on the big rocks. Watching this, a little squirrel too wanted to help in God's work, so she carried little pebbles in her mouth and put it with the big rocks being laid by big monkeys. The monkeys mocked at the squirrel, however, she didn't care and continued her work. There was a time when she became tired and doing this too, and then she didn't give up. She pulled all the strength she had and went to the waters and wetting herself, rolled in the sand and dusted it on the big rocks, which helped fill the crevices between the rock as glue. Lord Rama too was impressed watching pure devotion that squirrel had in her heart to help build the bridge for God. Lord Rama blessed the squirrel by petting, which has left 3 stripes on her back. During this pandemic, we too as healthcare professionals are doing whatever we can for the people we serve. Some days it can take a toll on us with existing conditions. However, remembering the squirrel helps us do everything knowing it's making a difference to the lives of people we serve. What creates the demand to care for sick and suffering? So special, different during these times. A great question. How is it different than what we do already as healthcare professional? Pandemic has flooded a lot more numbers of sick people coming for screening when we're still looking for resources to screen, test, and learn about this virus all at one time. It is challenging, stressful, and unsettling when we don't have the answers everyone is seeking. In school, we had learned a lot about existing disease conditions, treatment modalities, and care strategies. However, novel coronavirus is new knowledge for all of us globally, and hence lack of preparedness to meet a pandemic of this magnitude. There is new knowledge evolving, and all we can do is keep up and know we are not alone. God is always guiding and guarding us. How did this pandemic unfold for all of us? Just to go back to January 2020. We were all very happy and wishing everyone a very happy and blessed new year. And we in Center embarked a spiritual journey with the theme, Unity is Divinity, Purity is Enlightenment. We walked away talking about practical spirituality and overcoming our limitations with clarity and spirituality, being aligned with the purpose of our lives, which is deep rooted in the belief, I am that. I am divine. Unity in oneself in thoughts, words, and deeds. February 2020, we personally celebrated our 25th anniversary on Family Day as a family, and this was the time when China Joint Commission had shared about need for physical distancing to avoid human-to-human transmissions. Things were beginning to take a concerned outlook. However, we here at home felt untouched as a country. There was great sense of disconnect between countries obliging to these conditions as the problems were still felt afar. March 2020. Early March, I shared a fact sheet with our center president Amar about coronavirus, and SSIO had also outlined resources for all to be informed and updated about this new disease, and to begin personal sadhana as life on earth was beginning to be volatile and things looked a little blurry. We were all confused with how much information was coming from various sources, and hence streamlined communications at home, work, center, and our sources were World Health Organization, Center for Disease Control, Public Health Ontario, and Health Ministry of Canada. There was bridging of gaps between facts and sensational news. We started seeing concerns in community for personal safety. Many worried for their families' health. Everyone was a bit fearful, and some were preparing to go for a family vacation as March break was approaching. We did follow our duty of sharing right information with a sense of poise and calmness in a timely manner. Our actions included hand washing for 20 seconds, covering your sneeze and cough with your sleeves, and cleaning and disinfecting our environment. March 11th, there was more information on alarming levels and spread and severity and who had declared a pandemic, which caught us off guard. Or did it awaken us from slumber? Hospitals had started screening, using personal protective equipment, creating spaces, expecting the numbers to rise, new policies to take care of increasing demands. Meetings were limited to 50 people in attendance only. There was greater effect in community to slow the spread. Prevention, protection, to help people suspected and confirmed with self-hospital isolation, treatment, and healing. Protection and communication all around. We saw growing unity in everyone's actions to take responsibility and do what is right. Social distancing or physical distancing became more acceptable. We learned to greet with namaste, not touch our mouth, nose, and eyes, because this were considered to be portal of entry for the virus. Even in this moment, I totally trusted God and His plan and flow. My only prayer was, God, let my last breath hold your fragrance. I too was praying for God's direction as I showed up for work. I felt my duty is to stay calm and nurse on. Thank God when your only duty is to love. I'm reminded of Swami's quote, love is divine. Love all. Impart your love even to those who lack love. Love is like a mariner's compass. Whenever you may keep it, it points the way to God. In every action, in daily life, manifest your love. Divinity will emerge from that love. This is the easiest path to God realization. But why aren't people taking to it? This is because they are obsessed with misconception relating to the means of experiencing God. They regard God as some remote entity attainable only by arduous spiritual practices. God is everywhere. There is no need to search for God. All that you see is a manifestation of the divine. All the human beings you see are forms of the divine. Correct your defective vision, and you will experience God in all things. Speak lovingly, act lovingly, think with love, and do every action with love-filled heart. Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 29, Chapter 28. I started getting questions from worried families, friends about their children, relatives, pets, and I was able to connect people to right resources. And I felt like a sponge absorbing all knowledge to help and share with all people I care about. Our home was also in a disarray. Smith, our oldest son, was in Ottawa. Om, our younger son, in Hamilton. My parents still in India. Work demands were pressing as I also managed administration of neonatal resuscitation program. I had concerned colleagues whose certifications were to be renewed, and questions of worries, anxieties were outpouring. We started seeing increased number of colleagues who were sick during these times due to stress, fear of unknown, and the personal safety as well. I felt I needed to be strong for all of us at home, work, and in the community. My secret of well-being were prayers that kept me grounded and in the knowing that Swami will take care of a person who follows their dharma, duty. My obligations were pressing, however, all the personal sadhana was coming in play as I could operate from a place of calm and peace. There were some questions I too am unable to answer about. What's happening all around? However, I feel blessed in knowing God will take care of details as they were meant to be. Home started finding order as children returned, and by now a new life had become a part of our living. Knowing I am at high risk for comorbidities if I were to contract COVID-19, we had emergency meeting in our household for us to come up with a family plan. We started daily conversations with meal times, which included what were we going to do differently to be in harmony with ourselves and universe. All boys in the household picked health-related goals, and I said I would like to be connected 24/7 with God. Funny enough that Om said that you do that already. Yes, I do. However, I would not want to miss my focus, my strength that comes from within, knowing He is guarding each one of us. Our family bonds are going richer with stories, space for being ourselves, and in nurturing each other's calling in the moment. Children are grounded as they study and write exams. Mahesh is in charge of everything while I take care of my duty as a nurse. Work too has found operational plans that are evolving. However, we are all now used to using PPE, not necessarily immune to work. However, my vibhuti before leaving the house and praying to God to be with me is helping. It's the balm I need daily to keep going in chaos, knowing my life is affected like everyone else equally. However, there is equanimity in my mind, knowing this too shall pass. April 2020. There is a stay-at-home campaign for staying safe. All life has begun to participate on Earth. Earth has begun the healing cycle. We're all collectively praying and being aligned with ourselves. Feeling of gratitude has emerged to be our demeanor. We are filled with appreciation for life, its meaning, our growing together and embracing new norms gracefully, knowing what is expected of us. Our prayers for global well-being and everything is operational once again virtually. Our problems beyond borders are not at the same level, nor is anyone ahead in anything. However, we are all knowing the positive that comes through these times. There's gift of time. There's time to build human relationship. There's time to connect with God within. There is time for family bonding. There is time for community building. Overall, our Mother Earth is healing and we all feel supported together in these times. I would like to share my gratitude with all of you for being a hero for each other by being responsible and united in our efforts to find a cure for this virus and walking together knowing we are one and we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome one day. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome one day. Loved connecting with you all. In closing, Let's meditate now on this life principle that is sustaining our life, which is also a gift of God and close to my heart. Let's strengthen ourselves with Soham meditation to remind us, I am that. So hum. Breathe in. So breathe out. Hum. Breathe in. So breathe out. Hum. Breathe in. Love, calm, joy, bliss for self. Breathe out, love, calm, joy, peace, happiness for universe and all. Let all beings in all worlds be happy. Peace. Stay safe. Jai Sai Ram.
Ms. Monica Dey is a registered nurse in Ontario and works in the emergency and trauma unit at her hospital site. Ms. Monica Dey has been a registered nurse for 14 years and has worked specifically in the high-paced emergency department for the last 10 years. She also teaches students in the nursing programs at George Brown College and Ryerson University. Monica has been an SSE student and young adult member before going on to become a young adult coordinator at the Mississauga Sai Center. Currently, she attends the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Toronto, York, where her two young daughters participate in the SSE program. Monica also supports as an SSE administrator at our Sai Center.
My loving, sincere, humblest pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dear, dear beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, uncles, aunties, brothers, sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. Good morning to you all. Welcome to my home. My name is Monica. I was privileged to be asked to speak to you as a frontline worker on this momentous special occasion of our dearest Lord. I'm an emergency nurse. I've been working emergency and trauma for the past 10 years, and I've been a registered nurse working in this profession for 14 or so years. I'm not sure if the words or the experiences that I'm about to speak about to you will give you the comfort or the reassurance that you need in these troubled times. But I hope that maybe some words will give, or thoughts will give you something to reflect on, experiences to resonate with, and a chance to connect or reconnect with Swami again. I often get asked from so many people, how is it that I do the work that I do? And I probably don't have an exact answer to tell you how exactly I do what I do. From some of the things I've seen and experienced, we have stories for days. I could tell you so many different experiences, and I think each time that I speak about them, I learn something new myself. But what role does Swami have and Swami's teachings have in my work? I don't think there's just one teaching that encompasses my feelings toward my career. I think it's collaboratively many of Swami's teachings, and the essence of what his teachings have meant to me has become my driving force in doing the work that I do. Truth is, I can't see people in pain. I can't see people hurting. It breaks my heart to experience and see people when they aren't able to do what they're normally capable of doing. So I feel that I have been given the privilege and maybe just a tiny little bit of power to be able to be there for others when they truly need it. Maybe be able to take away their pain somehow. Be able to give them the comfort and the reassurance that we will do everything that is in our power to help them recover or face whatever issue that they're presenting to us with, in whichever capacity that may be. In meditation many years ago, I shouldn't say meditation, probably in deep contemplation many years ago, I thought to myself the question of what is it and why is it that I do what I do? What is my purpose? What is my purpose in work? Should I be doing this? I suppose it's like the age-old question of why is it that we're here? And I heard a voice, a very clear, loud voice telling me that I created you from myself to watch myself return back to me. So that became my reason to work and be an emergency trauma nurse. See, when you connect with someone at their time of struggle and at their time of pain with no other connection to them, because I don't know who these people are, I don't know their past, present, future, I often don't even know their name, but I connect with them in their pain, in the problem that they're coming to the emergency department with. And when you connect with them on that level, it's something much deeper, because the human body just becomes a different entity, and I only relate to them in the end on a level of their energy, that the light that burns, the light of life that burns inside them is the same light that burns inside me. The same energy that is making them take their next breath is the same energy that is making me breathe. So in that way, if that makes sense, that's how I feel like I'm returning something back to Swami. That's how I feel that maybe that's why he created me, to have me give back to others so I can return back to him. That part of me could return back to him. Let's talk about COVID-19. How has COVID-19 affected me and Swami's, and how has Swami's teachings how have they played a role while I've been working through this pandemic? I cried the other day at work. I cried yesterday evening at work as well. I had a moment of grief. I wasn't sure what the next steps were going to be. Protocols change day to day. Nothing at work feels the same like it did 2-3 months ago. There was a patient that came into the emergency department with just cold flu-like symptoms on say a Monday. And he got discharged with like viral illness, as often most people do. He returned again on Thursday, saying that his difficulty breathing and more shortness of breath had come to be, and his flu-like symptoms weren't getting any better. I met this individual on that day when he came in for the second time. I assessed him. I swabbed him for COVID-19 as per the orders were that day, and he was admitted. And not even a week later, and being on the ventilator for about 2 days, this patient passed away of COVID-19 related issues. That was an experience that was very close to home. It happened in the emergency department that I worked at. And all of a sudden, this disease that was in China, in Italy, in New York, was now in my workplace. And it's hard, and it's difficult, and it's scary, because I don't think there's been a time in history as we know it where we experienced so many people's lives that was taken from one source, one disease, such as COVID-19. They tell us at work that, well, they've come up with this new terminology. I'm sure many of you have heard PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disease, where there's people who suffer from remembering situations of the past. Well, now they're saying that there's something called pre-traumatic stress disorder, because we as frontline workers or healthcare workers have this impending feeling of doom that's going to happen, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, unfortunately, we don't know how many people are going to be affected by this disease, even though we as healthcare workers and the community and the government are doing all that we can to contain it. So I asked myself, I stopped to ask myself time and time again, should I be so scared? Because sometimes I can't help myself. Like I told you, I've cried at work, I've cried at home, and I'll be honest, I even found myself crying last night after work when I got home. But should I be that scared though? Would Swami's teachings let me be that scared? And I'm reminded of the words from our Bhagavad Gita, where it says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata avyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. In these words, where God himself says that every time that the world faces a crisis, where darkness takes over, that he will come from age to age to rectify the situation. So in reality, I can't have fear because there is no fear in faith. I'm also reminded of Sathya Sai Baba's teachings of Shraddha and Saburi, where he says clearly to keep faith and trust the process. So in these ever-changing times, even though I have to act in the present, I have to look after patients right now, I have to do what my protocols and my training has taught me to do or needs me to do at this present time, I can't lose sight of the bigger picture. That there is a bigger picture. There is something that obviously that we can't see that is happening right now. That is beyond our power to see. And the only thing that we can do is what is in our power to do is to be in the present. And that's what I've been telling myself when I find myself in the verge of tears and facing another day at work, where I'm pretty sure when I go into work tonight for my night shift that whatever protocols were in place last night, whatever mask I was wearing yesterday, whatever eye protection I had to wear, whatever gown I had to wear may have changed in the last 12 hours. So those are the words, the teachings that I keep in mind of Sathya Sai Baba and the Bhagavad Gita. If I may share with you a dream that I had some months ago, I would probably say near the end of October. And in this dream, I was walking out of a building, and the world around me was crashing and burning. Buildings were crumbling, fire, the earth was shaking from earthquakes. There was sounds of water rushing, and the whole world was in turmoil. And in this turmoil, there was this group of people who were standing just outside the door that I had come out of. And while I was exiting the building, one of the people in the group came out, stepped a little forward and spoke to me and said, "Aren't you scared? Or are you scared?" And I looked at the person and I looked all around me at the world crashing all around me. And I quite confidently told the person, "No, I'm not scared." But quite truthfully, I don't know why I'm not scared. And that person said, "You don't know? You don't know why you're scared?" And I said, "No, I can't figure out why I wouldn't be scared in such a situation." And they said to me, "It's because that you've met him." I said, "Met who?" And you said, "You've met him. You've met your creator." I said, "Have I though?" I was like, who was it? And they said, "Okay, maybe you never felt that maybe you didn't feel that you met your creator, but you've met your soulmate. You've met the person who completes you." And having said that, a figure emerged from behind the group. And the figure was somewhat short, a little stout, shrouded in maybe a red jacket or a shawl, and somehow had his head covered quite low where I couldn't see his face. And in that moment, I knew the familiarity of the person. And not in a love or relationship sort of a way where you say that I met my soulmate. No, I met the part of me that completed me. And when that figure walked towards me, I said, it's been you the whole time." And he nodded. And he came to me and he enveloped me in this big, comfortable, I don't even have words to say the kind of hug that it was. But it took away all of my fears, all of my worries. I couldn't even think when that figure hugged me and held me. When I woke up after I had that dream, I couldn't place the reason as to why I would have that dream, because I thought to myself, maybe it was some small issues and concerns or crises that you face on a daily basis, or maybe it was something that I was facing at work. But now that I think about it, maybe it was a foreboding dream, maybe it was foretelling me about what we're facing right now, because in a way the world does seem to be crashing and burning around us. We're going through something that we've never faced before. And my soulmate or my creator told me to not have fear. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to hold on to that hug that he gave me, where he took everything away and he told me to just not have fear. So that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do when I go into work today. That's what I'll do every day, even when this pandemic is over, is I will find a way to keep my faith in my creator. And so this dream and thought of not having fear and faith, I feel it shields me at work, or would shield me at work. It protects, I feel that it will protect me against negativity and the doubt that fills our days at work recently. And with that, I'm going to share with you another dream that I had very recently, about maybe even not even 2 weeks ago, where Swami, in the physical form that we knew, was going to give us darshan. And I can't remember, I don't know what hall it was in exactly. It wasn't Sai Kulwant Hall in Prashanti. It was another open hall somewhere. And I was being ushered to come sit in the front row. I was quite embarrassed because I wasn't wearing a sari, nor was I wearing a salwar kameez. I was wearing, I think, a cardigan of some sort, but I didn't have anything to cover myself with. So I kind of backed off and said, no, I can't sit in the front row. But they ushered me back and said, no, if, Swami wants you to sit in the front row, then you're going to sit in the front row. So sit down. And so I quietly sat, a little afraid of what Swami might say to me for not being dressed appropriately for sitting in the front. And there was apparently some VIP or somebody sitting in the same row whom Swami was supposed to come speak with. And so Swami came for darshan as he normally would, went to speak with this gentleman that was somewhere in the front. And then Swami slowly made his way down the line. And when I looked up at him properly, as closer he came to me, I saw that he was no longer in an orange robe, but in a blue robe. Blue, like a peacock, like a very, very royal blue. I'd never seen Swami in any color other than his orange, red, or white robes that he used to wear. So the blue kind of surprised me, and I couldn't figure out why he would be wearing such a color. So he came closer to me, about a couple of feet away, and I touched the ground and I did namaskar. And he looked at me, and he kind of cocked his head and questioned, as if to ask me, what is it that you want? And I said, nothing. I don't want anything. I'm just going to take namaskar as much as I can with you being so close to me. And he said, is that all? And I said, I said, are you gonna help? I said, not me, but everybody that's facing this pandemic right now, all of my colleagues, all of the community that's suffering from this pandemic. And he said, yes, I will. And I said, will you though? Will you really help me? And he smiled and he made a running motion. And he said, I'm running straight to you. And I said, straight to me? Repeating everything that he said. And he said, yes, I'm running straight to you. So his words confirmed for me again that I have to keep faith. And from then on, if I hadn't done it before, I told myself to always remember those words. That he's running to me, that he's with me, in me, with me, around me. And it'll provide a shield of negativity to keep the negativity out from me. And it'll keep the doubt away, and it'll allow me to do my job. It'll allow me to do my job one patient and one day at a time. Because we don't know what's out there. The bigger picture is something that I can't see, and I don't have the power to see. But I do have power and control of the present. And what is in my present is looking after one patient, one shift, one day at a time. And I think that will be my resolve on how to go about this pandemic. A question that I've been asked many times, and more so during this pandemic, is that what are the hardest parts of being a frontline or a healthcare worker during this global emergency? Truth is, I don't think I'm doing anything different. I go to work the same way. I put into practice what I've been trained for, what I've learned and studied the same way. The added pressure, I would say right now, is the uncertainty of this virus, because we don't know anything about it. It's very new to us, and we're learning things every day, researching things every day. So I would probably say that would be the hardest part of the job right now. Mind you, I have to congratulate or pay respects to the country and the community as a whole, because I think we're doing a pretty good job at flattening the curve, at trying to contain this virus the best way we know how. So I do have hope that the community and the country will continue to do what we've been doing, or what we've been told to do. But with regards to my work and my job, I don't think it's changed much in any way. I don't think I'd ever categorize working in the emergency room as being easy. I think it is a very difficult profession in a very uncertain environment. Often people ask me what is the craziest things I've seen in the emergency department, and I never have one answer for them. I think I have a story in every category there is that could come across the emergency department. We deal with abuse, we deal with violent behaviors, we see the worst of the worst, whether there's a pandemic happening or not. Some of my experiences include holding someone's hand when they've passed away, as they've passed away, because a family member couldn't make it to them in time. I've seen gunshot wounds. I've seen stabbings. I've seen people who have given their lives for suicide. I've seen suicide notes. I've seen drug overdoses by the plenty. I've seen strangulations. I've dressed up in hazmat suits. I've run from bed bugs. I've seen other diseases make a comeback, such as measles, mumps, and tuberculosis. It's a very uncertain place, the emergency department, because we never, ever know what's going to come through the doorway next. I was told by a student, I teach nursing too, by the way. So I was told by a student once that the amount of death and dying and suffering that I see in 1 month is more than any person would see in a lifetime. So I guess having said that, that would probably be another hard part, one of the hardest parts of being a frontline healthcare or an emergency department nurse or doctor. The things that we see and live we can't unsee them. And sometimes, quite often than not, it could put us in a very dark place, mentally put us in a very dark place. It's almost like a tunnel, a dark tunnel. And we can only compartmentalize these things that we see just so much. So these experiences that we see, the death and the dying, the suffering, the pain, we put it away somewhere in our minds so that we can deal, so that we can go on with our job. We can go and look after another patient with as much of a clear mind as possible. But putting it away in all these little drawers and files in our mind can only go so much until you can't. And when that happens, I think it puts healthcare workers, emergency nurses and doctors in a very dark place. And I'll admit to you, I think to some extent I've been there. I've been in a place where when I felt like I was looking up and around me, all I saw was darkness. And in those times, I think it's very, very important that we talk to people. Talk to whoever is close to us that could listen. Even if they don't understand you, and even with patient confidentiality, we can't speak about the person and the exact situation that we encountered, but we can speak about the feelings that we're going through. And I think that's very important, because I do strongly believe that is probably one of the hardest parts of doing the job that I do. I have ignored this mental anguish in the past. I didn't realize how much mental and emotional harm it could really do. So I have made a conscious effort to address it. Which brings me to my next part of what my coping mechanisms are to deal with this global pandemic and my job. On a day-to-day basis. So one of my coping mechanisms is that I truly believe that we have to nurture ourselves. The body is a temple, the temple of God, and we need to look after it in all the possible ways that we can. So through exercise, through eating the right vitamins, minerals, nutrients that we need, and sleep. Those are probably the three things that I've focused my energy on my days off, to be able to nurture myself and keep myself as healthy as possible. I've become more aware that God has made our bodies not only as His temple, but He's made our bodies to not fail us. He's given us all the strength and all the energy to be able to do our duty, to do our jobs, to do our work in the best way possible. So we shouldn't throw away that gift, that privilege, and we should nurture and look after these temples of His to the best way we can, in the best way that we can. Another way that I cope, or another place where I find strength, is through my colleagues. This amazing team of people that stands with me are brave, so brave, intelligent, smart, dedicated, and so very kind. These human beings are my Sangha, in a sense. We spend time together at work when we can, and we share our fears. We cry over our sadness. We grieve together. And I think we fight this battle together. So even though I haven't been able to go to my all-time favorite coping mechanism, which is going to satsang and praying with you all during bhajans, I've been able to continue my worship at work. Every opportunity that work has presented, and has presented with or without this pandemic, is a chance to worship God, chance to connect with humanity, a chance to feel every emotion there is and still have faith in God. And again, be reminded time and time again to not have fear, to hold on to that faith. What are my hopes and dreams for the community and the country, even the world, once we finally come out of this pandemic? Well, I hope that once we do come out of this pandemic, that no one will take health for granted. No one will feel that they're invincible. Death and disease don't pick and choose who they decide to affect. It can affect anyone at any age, at any race, any gender. So I really hope that people don't take their health for granted, that they look after themselves, to nourish themselves, eat right, exercise right, and keep in mind that this body and this life is a gift. I hope that people will not take healthcare for granted, that we realize that we're blessed with universal healthcare in Canada, and that we don't abuse the resources that are given to us. The equipment, the tests, the imaging, all these things that we do are valuable resources, and they shouldn't be abused. Because at times like this, at the time of a pandemic, that, you know what, maybe we don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on for, that these resources can run out, and we really should not waste them when we don't need to. I hope that people will not give up if they are put in a situation where they are having to suffer from a particular disease or a particular lifestyle. I hope that they realize that there are ways around it, that things could be much worse, and that we learn to live life the best way we know how. I hope that we can see that things can always be much worse, and that we need to live each day to the best way we can. There's treatments, there's ways to help one another through hard times, and I hope that we realize that during this pandemic. I hope that we stop taking for granted the country that we live in. I think during this time we got a very, very small glimpse, a fraction of what countries affected by war face on a daily basis, where they are rationed their foods, where they don't have the ability to go to school or go to work and they have to stay home, where they don't have a voice and they just have to sit and wait for things to get better. In this country, in Canada, we are blessed with so much freedom and so many resources. I hope that we can keep in mind going forward to have empathy for people, to respect the resources and the freedom that we've been given, and know that we're collectively responsible for everything in this world. And we need to work together as a community, as a country, to make this place, this world, a better place to be. Lastly, I hope that people take value in their lives again. Truly take value in their lives again. COVID-19 or the coronavirus takes your ability to breathe away. People who are suffering from this virus and who have died from this virus died not being able to breathe. So I hope and I pray that everyone sees that every breath that we take is a privilege, an honor, and a gift. And we should use each breath wisely. And remember to be thankful for each breath that we take. Thank you again for letting me be a part of this occasion. I hope again that everyone is keeping well and staying safe. To those of you who are staying home, I thank you. To those of you who have called and checked in, thank you. To those of you who are caring for caregivers, much, much thank you. And to those that are struggling, please reach out. Healthcare workers, frontline workers, emergency nurses and doctors have always been here for you, and forever will always be here for you. Please don't feel alone. Don't feel that you're abandoned. We're all in this together, and we're going to get through it together. Best wishes to you all. Sending much love and hugs to you. Do take care.
I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Lord Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. On behalf of the Center, extending a very warm welcome to each and every one of you for our virtual Aradhana Mahotsavam 2020 offering. A special welcome to those of you who are tuning in for the first time or after a long time. It's been over 1 month since we shut down our center to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. On behalf of the whole center, we hope and pray that each and every one of you are healthy and safe with your families during this difficult time. At this time, it is important that we remember Swami's teaching, why fear when I am here? Swami is indeed omnipresent, and he is all around us, and he is the one fighting the front lines of this pandemic in the form of our heroes. And on that note, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of our frontline workers here and around the world who are fighting this pandemic in order to keep all of us healthy and safe. A special thank you to our speakers today, Meena Patel and Moni Dey, who are 2 registered nurses fighting the front lines in Ontario hospitals. Thank you so much for your services, for inspiring all of us, and it's so heartwarming to know we have Sai sisters and brothers like you fighting this pandemic on the front lines here and around the world. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you also to all of our volunteers who have been staying connected and reaching out to support our seniors and our vulnerable members in our center and our Sai community in the form of grocery pickups, prescription pickups, just phone calls to touch in. Thank you all for staying connected with each other, supporting each other, and for all the services you are doing together. Thank you to our SSC children who have been so dynamic and engaging in our online SSC classes for the past year, and for reaching out and supporting Kids Help Phone. And finally, thank you to our young adults who have launched a mentorship program for our Group 4s and SSC. Thank you all for staying connected, supporting each other, and being there for each other. A special thank you to our media team, and in particular Brother Sanjay Sankat, for stitching this entire virtual program together. And Sanjay in particular for pretty much working single-handedly to bring us daily Gayatri chanting,
meditation, and daily satsangs on our virtual channels. Thank you so much for digging through decades and decades of content and pulling out the gems of devotion from Toronto York's past, and for keeping us all connected to Toronto York Bhajans, to Swami, and to each other. Thank you for providing us the opportunity to sit back as families on Saturday evenings to watch our birthday offerings, and on Sundays to reminisce back at 1 p.m. with talks from eminent speakers who have visited our center. Thank you for embracing this new normal and for watching out for each other. I encourage each and every one of you to continue to chant Gayatri Mantra to pray for the speedy recovery and the health and well-being of all of mankind. And now it is my pleasure to welcome the next element of our Aradhana Mahotsavam offering, a musical tribute by the young adults of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Toronto, York. Sai Ram, happy listening, and see you soon.
Dearest Swami, today, as your youth, we remember your life. The days you walked this earth with graceful footsteps in the summer heat. The endless excitement on millions of faces, hoping to catch a glimpse of orange or a halo of curly hair. Today, we pay tribute to you, Swami. We hold you close to our hearts so that you'll stay there forever. But how can we capture someone who is so much to so many? How can we hope to describe the beauty and mystery of a life that transformed the lives of all those it came in contact with? As your youth, you have blessed us with so much in this life. Many of us have had the chance to see your divine form, to sing and perform for you in your home. But many more will come, Swami, will come to love you, even without ever being in your physical presence. This is why today we pay tribute to all your forms. For you are the mother that comforts us when we are hurt. You are the father that disciplines us when we lose our way. And you are the friend that is always there for us. Your physical form may be gone, Swami, but you have not left us. For you are in the thoughts, words, and deeds of all those we love. You surround us with boundless love. Dearest Swami, we love you more than words can describe, your children.
शिव पार्वती के बालक जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक
Dear Swami, when one thinks of a guru, there are many words that come to mind. Teacher, advisor, role model. A guru emulates the qualities that the disciple aspires to and provides the stepping stones needed to attain our goals. Our dearest Swami, your role as a loving guru for mankind began at an early age. As a child, you were known to narrate to the children of your village various stories and teach them treasured lessons about daily life and spirituality. You would lovingly use doll houses, install various pictures in them to tell stories to the young children. Swami, as our Guru, the lessons you have taught since those early days have only become more invaluable. From the moment you proclaimed the words, "Maya has left me, my devotees are eagerly calling me," you have dedicated your life to teaching us. With every discourse, conversation, and interaction, you have taken the time to teach us the important lessons necessary to pass through the journey of life, the journey of Guru and disciple, the journey that began with you singing these divine words.
Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam beautiful one I adore. Beautiful one, my soul. My Sai.
Dear Swami, there was once a student in your institute who had lost his father during his childhood. You had spoken to his mother and told that you would look after this boy and his elder brother. Swami, you had then called this boy directly and told him, "From now on, I am your father. If you need anything, you should ask me and not trouble your brother or mother." A few days had passed after the end of the first year of studies. Most of the students were going home, and this student wanted to visit his mother. But he did not have enough money to purchase a ticket. He went to his older brother, but he too could not spare any money for the trip. He became deeply distressed, but did not tell anyone of this sorrow. Swami, you took this student by surprise by selecting him for an interview. You had said to this boy, "I told you that if you need anything, you should ask me. Why did you go and trouble your brother? I know you want to go home and see your mother. You should have asked me. Am I not your father? Why then do you hesitate to ask me for what you want?" Swami, you had then given this student, whose eyes welled with tears, enough money to visit his mother for the holidays. Swami, only you could have known the inner distress of your student and have come to his aid like a loving father. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. Revere mother as God. Revere your father as God. Swami, it is only you who had given life to these very words. Dear Swami, you are the father of this entire universe.
Father, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. How I love you. Swami, I adore you. Lay my life before you.
Because you picked me up when I struggled to get through. Because you healed my heart when it was thrown and shattered. Because you gave me hope when it seemed so out of reach. Because you filled me with peace when chaos flowed through my veins. Because you showed me the light when there was only darkness. Because you gave me comfort when my voice cried out in pain. Because you reassured me when the doubts screamed in my head. Because you kept me going where there seemed nowhere to go. Because you sustained me with strength when weakness became all I knew. Because you came and stayed when everyone else turned around and left. Because you gave me a purpose when life seemed so pointless. Because you restored my happiness when life seemed to snatch it away. Because you filled this emptiness when the void echoed with loneliness. Because you helped me let it all go when I gripped the tightest to hold on. Because you showed me the beauty of life when the world showed me nothing but hate and corruption. Because you gave me a better life when the old one fought to come back. Because I am nothing without you, nothing but a hopeless being. Because only you could tear down my wall of pride and instead build it back up with love and humbleness. Because of all this, I give you my life, Lord. I put all my fears and failures in your hands, my worries that consume me, my pain that destroys me. You were always there, even when I rejected you. Because of all you are, my life, O Swami, is yours.
அஞ்சாதே எனும் குரல் குருநாதன் சரணத்தில் நிழல் கிடைத்தது. கோடி ஜென்மம் நான் எடுப்பேன் குருநாதன் அருள் நிற்க உனக்குன்றே உனக்காக என்னையாக்குவேன். கோடி ஜென்மம் நான் टूट न पाए, तेरे बिना जग माया आए, बंधन टूट न पाए, जीवन नैया पग पग डोले, तू ही पार लगाए, तेरी शरण में लेंगे प्रभु तो विपारश्री बरसा दे, विपारश्री बरसा दे, मन मेरो लागे ना तेरे बिना रे, मन मेरो लागे ना तेरे बिना रे, अखियाँ तेरे दर्शन की प्यासे, अखियाँ तेरे दर्शन की प्यासे, जीवन ज्योत जलाओ साई मेरे, जीवन ज्योत जलाओ साई मेरे, मन मेरो लागे ना तेरे बिना रे, मन मेरो लागे ना तेरे बिना रे, अखियाँ तेरे दर्शन की प्यासी, अखियाँ तेरे दर्शन की प्यासी, अखियाँ तेरे दर्शन की प्यासी।
Swami, from the time when we were young and even until now, you continue to guide, protect, and love us as only a mother can. You're a consoling force when we are down, a mode of salvation when we are lost, and a guiding light when we are led astray. Whenever you're near, your loving smile fills our hearts with joy. Dearest Mother, there is no other in the world like you.
जब भी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए, हमको हंसाए, जब भी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए, हमको हंसाए, माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में, माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में। जब भी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए, हमको हंसाए।
Swami, once in Trai Vrindavan, a herd of deer was brought to your ashram to be with you. They were kept in a gated area in front of your residence to have your darshan
just like all of your other devotees. Every time you come out of Sai Vrindavan, your students would come running to you, and so did the deer. You jokingly but sweetly reminded the students that no matter who or what we are all dear to you.
हम जब रोए हमको मनाती हो, प्रेम की ज्योति दिल में जलाती हो। हम जब रोए हमको मनाती हो, प्रेम की ज्योति दिल में जलाती हो। दिल में उमंगे तमन्नाएं लेके हम आए हो, 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 हो। दिल में उमंगे तमन्नाएं लेके हम आए हो, जब भी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए हमको हंसाए।
Swami, upon your return to Vrindavan some years later, a few of the volunteers at the deer stable noticed that there was one deer in particular that would constantly gaze up towards the window of your residence. Its eyes were transfixed at your window, refusing to eat. No one knew what to make of this strange behavior. No one could understand what was happening. Upon your arrival to your residence, you quickly ran downstairs and summoned for the students to bring apples to feed the deer. You came to the deer's side and lovingly fed it and consoled it. As you left the deer and returned to your quarters, the deer breathed its last and collapsed to the ground. It was then that all who witnessed this realized that you knew full well, as only you would, that these were the deer's last moments on earth. Swami, like a mother who hears the cries of her child and knows exactly how to console him, your love, the love of 1,000 mothers, will always answer the call of all your creation.
जोर से चिल्लाए हम प्यार, मगर वो क्या है नहीं जाने। जोर से चिल्लाए हम प्यार, मगर वो क्या है नहीं जाने। सच्चा प्यार दिखाना और तुमसे ही प्यार करवाना, सच्चा प्यार दिखाना और तुमसे ही प्यार करवाना। कभी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए हमको हंसाए। जब भी तुम आए और मुस्कुराए, दिल बहलाए हमको हंसाए। माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में, माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में। ओ माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में। ओ माँ तेरे जैसे न कोई इस दुनिया में।
call you Swami, we call you Guru, because you are our dear beloved Father. You are our greatest teacher, the only teacher at all. We are your pupils. We can never teach, but only be your instruments and learn, always learn. Our school is life itself. The classroom is the world. There are no free hours, never a minute to waste. Every second has its own life. No moment is just ordinary. No spare time exists. No time to waste. We have to be ever watchful and think about you. We might try to escape from the lessons. We might try to hide us from you, Swami. But you will be there always. You will be there. In the form of the trouble we create ourselves by not listening to you, our inner self. The homework we then get may seem so hard, but you will be there always. You will be there. In the form that softens our pain and makes us happy again. Because no matter how many times we try to escape and how much time we need to learn, how imperfect we might be, you still love us. You still love us. You guide us. You guard us. You lead us and you love us. Please let us never forget. Please let us never forget. The lesson we have to learn is love. Love, love. To become pure love, to be just the love that you are. And when we graduate, everything is love, and there shall be peace in the world. As blowing as wind, as moving as the wave, as the shadow of the tree, as warm as the fire, as changing as the body is life. But the love that nourishes us remains forever, eternally.
You're the source of all life. You have come here to brighten my life. Keep me with you. On this path you're my guide. I call your name, Mother Sai. Swami, you are the light in my life. Like the sun, your light will always glow. My sweet Lord, how I yearn for your love. Like a river, your love will always flow. Like a mother, you'll be there to wipe away my tears. Like a father, you'll be there to take away my fears. My Lord, my love, my son. My sweet Lord, my love, my son.
Sai, you're the source of all love. I can never thank you enough. Always with me through the darkest of times. I call your name, Mother Sai. Swami, you are the light in my life. Like a star brightly shining in the sky. When I'm scared and afraid to go on, like an angel, you help me to get by. Like a teacher, you'll be there. You teach me to be true. Like a friend you'll be there. I'll put my trust in you, my Lord, my love, my Sai. My sweet Lord, my love, my Sai.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram,
Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai
The love and compassion of our Lord knows no bounds. One incident during Swami's younger years shows just how limitless his love is. At that time, some devotees had lovingly built a small hut for their Lord to reside in. It can be said that this was the first mandir built for Swami. Sadly, not all the villagers appreciated Swami's presence there. One night, as Swami was sleeping inside the hut, a few men plotted together and set fire to it. As others were alerted of this incident, they came running to Swami. But it appeared to be too late. The flames had engulfed the entire hut, and surely anything or anyone inside it. But of course, all this is part of the Lord's divine play. Onlookers soon found a rain cloud hovering just above Swami's hut and nowhere else, pouring rain and putting out the fire. Swami emerged from the hut with his ever-knowing smile, and the villagers who were responsible for the incident were brought to him. Young Satyam declared that although these men wanted to harm Swami, they did in fact mean well. Swami said, "These men felt that other villagers should not be fooled or taken advantage of by anyone. So they wanted to test me and my divinity. I am always open to anybody's test." Swami, in his infinite compassion, was not upset with the wrongdoers. In fact, he requested for all the other villagers to forgive them. Needless to say, those very men who tested Satyam and set his hut aflame became his ardent devotees. Such is the indescribable love of our dearest Sai.
Varshinche Vachanamrutham, Murikinche Premamritam, Venuvai Prematu Rogani, Venuvai Prematu Rogani, Challani Shupai Vasallani, Jnana Jyothi Vano Veliginchani. Varshinche Vachanamrutham, Murikinche వీక్షించే ఆకాశమే ఓ సాక్షి ఆగేటి సరియేదు ఓ పత్రమై ప్రపించే వాహిరమే ఓ భాషయై వెలిగేటి ఆసోరే ఓ దీపమై సోగేటి ఆవేగమే మా దూతలై అలరించు అలలే చిరుహస్తమై లిఖించే లేఖని నీకివ్వని లిఖించే లేఖని నీకివ్వని ఆవన్ననే నీ చూపుగా ప్రతి వేషమే నీ గుర్తుగా వెలిగేటి తారకే నీ మోహగా ప్రతి మోహని సృష్టిగా మోదించే జాగు మాగెగుమా జీవితం ఇక దిక్కుమా జీవితం ఇక దిక్కుమా వర్షించే వచనామృతం మురిపించే ప్రేమామృతం వేణువై ప్రేమతో రోగని వేణువై ప్రేమతో రోగని చల్లని చూపై వాసిందని జ్ఞాన జ్యోతి నాలో వెలిగించని వెలిగించని వర్షించే వచనామృతం మురిపించే ప్రేమామృతం
Love. 4 letters, the basis of our very existence. 4 letters enter our lives at birth. Love is the undercurrent in us all. Without it, the human race would fall. Love is the base for any relation. With it goes away our worry, our tension. For purity exists in unconditional love, like what we get from the one above. O dearest Swami, your love is our life's source. Life's journey is met with many choices. Ethical dilemmas become faceless voices. Racing to the top seems only natural. Each time we find ourselves in a maze. Human values slowly turning into a haze. But look above to see that silver lining, for the one above is forever guiding. O dearest Swami, your love illumines our life's path. Each time we ponder over our existence, let's see God's love through a prism lens. For life erupts from the pure white light above, turning us into colorful units of His love. This love should spread like wildfire. This love must never tire. Our goal is to fill love in every tiny space. Our goal is to be deserving of His loving grace. O dearest Swami, your love is our life's goal.
Sai Naamamey, Taraka Mantram, Sai Margame, Jeevana Vedam, Sai Charaname, Maaku Sharanam, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Sai Naamamey madhuramura, Asmarane muktiki margamura. Sai Naamamey madhuramura, Asmarane muktiki margamura. Palutala pulato marugidu variki palitamu shunyamura. Sai Naamamey madhuramura, Asmarane muktiki margamura. అందరు మానవులొకటేరా, ఈ అంతరములు నీకెందుకురా? అందరు మానవులొకటేరా, ఈ అంతరములు నీకెందుకురా? మానవ సేవే మాధవ సేవా. మానవ సేవే మాధవ సేవ, మనుషులు దీనిని మరువరాదురా. సాయి నామమే మధురమురా, ఆ స్మరణే ముక్తికి మార్గమురా. కలిమి బలిని అధికారాలు, కనులకు మేలులు కొరలు తెరలు. సత్యము ధర్మము స్థాపించుటకే సాయి రాముడే అవతరించెరా సత్యము ధర్మము స్థాపించుటకే సాయి రాముడే అవతరించెరా ఈ పరమార్థము తెలిసి నరుడే
Vandanam is to offer our obeisance and salutations to God. Swami says Vandanam does not mean merely folding the palms together and offering salutations. It means offering to the Lord the sense organs and the organs of action in a spirit of total surrender. The next song offers our salutations to Swami as the Supreme Guru, the ultimate, the one and only, and this beautiful, beautiful Sai who taught us that all are one. This beauty of unity and diversity as taught and told by him. All are his and all are sparks of the eternal and only divine.
Ek onkar satnam karta purakh nirbar nirvay akal murat ajoni se bham guru prasad jap आज सच जुगाड़ सच है भी सच नानक होशिये सच गुरु मेरे पूजा गुरु गोविंद गुरु का दर्शन देख देख जीवा गुरु का दर्शन देख वाहिगुरु वाहिगुरु जी बोलो वाहिगुरु 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 जी बोलो सत्यनाम 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 जी बोलो सत्यनाम 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 जी बोलो नित्य नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम जी बोलो नित्य नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम जी बोलो सत्यनाम 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 जी बोलो सत्यनाम 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 जी बोलो राम 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 जी बोलो राम 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 जी बोलो नित्य नित्य जपिए राम नाम जी बोलो कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल 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 जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय
The color of your divine love is unique and extraordinary. Like the violet flowers that grow in our gardens and beautify our surroundings. Like the indigo bunting that flies around the countryside, chirping away and reminding us of the beautiful forms of life. Like the bright blue sky that lights up the start of our day and makes us wake up in the best mood. Like the greenery all around us that keeps our planet fresh and supports life. Like the bright yellow sunshine falling upon us that keeps us warm and brightens our life. Like the orange fruit that we eat, much like all that nature provides us hungry beings. Like the red blood that runs all through our body that energizes us and helps us to keep going. This world, filled with color, is your cherished property.
साईं के प्यार को पाना उसकी मर्जी है, उसको महसूस करने की आदत से बनती हमारी तकदीर है, बनती है ये तकदीर तेरे दर पे ओ साईं, बनती है ये तकदीर तेरे दर पे ओ साई, तेरे नाम से ये जीवन खिलता है साई। कभी सोचा है आसमां में सात रंग क्यों है? हो कोई कह सकता है सात सुर में संगीत बंधा क्यों है? क्योंकि रंगों से भरी ये दुनिया उसकी अमानत है। सातों सुरों के नगमे उसकी इबादत है। इबादत इबादत ये उसकी इबादत, इबादत इबादत ये उसकी इबादत। रंगों से भरी ये दुनिया उसकी अमानत है। सातों सुरों के नगमे उसकी इबादत है। प्यार के रंग अनोखे उसके, प्यार के रंग अनोखे। मेरे साई के प्यार के रंग अनोखे साई, प्यार के रंग अनोखे। ये जग है उसकी माया, उसके खेल हैं सबसे न्यारे। वो खेले होली हमसे, सुख दुख के रंग डाले। ये जग है उसकी माया, उसके खेले सबसे न्यारे। वो खेले होली हमसे, सुख दुख के रंग वो डाले, सुख दुख के रंग वो डाले। उसी रंग से बनी ये दुनिया, उसके रूप निराले। ये रंग क्या है, ये रूप क्या है? हाँ जी, ये रंग क्या है, ये रूप क्या है? ये रंग क्या है, ये रूप क्या है? ये रंग क्या है, ये रूप क्या है? पावन पाद मा पगा, पावन पाद मा पगा। निर निरे गा रे रे सा, निर निरे गा रे सा। ये रंग ही उसका रूप है, ये रूप ही उसका रंग है। खेल खुदा का है, वो खेल खुदा का है। फैसला हाथों में जिसके, रंग के प्याले हैं जिसके, फैसला हाथों में जिसके, रंग के प्याले हैं जिसके, हर सुबह को खूबसूरत जो बनाता है। तस्वीर उसकी, मुस्कान उसकी, आँखें उसकी, भोली सूरत, इस रंग बिरंगी दुनिया में हर चीज निराली उसकी है। उसका ही करिश्मा देखो तुम, सातों रंगों में समाया है। क्या कहना जी, क्या कहना अपने साई का, क्या कहना, क्या कहना जी, क्या कहना अपने साई का, क्या कहना। एक गरस के हम हैं प्यासे, पास हमारे आना। प्यार के रंग लोके साई, प्यार के रंग लोके, प्यार के रंग साई, प्यार के रंग लोके, प्यार के रंग लोके साई, प्यार के मेरे बाबा, मेरे बाबा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी सत्य साई हरे। भक्त जना समरक्षक, भक्त जना समरक्षक, भक्ति महेश्वरा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते, स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते। आश्रित कल्पलतीका, आश्रित कल्पलतीका, आहद्भाग्यवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता गुरुदेव मरियन्तयो नीवे, स्वामी मरियन्तयो नीवे। नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नागेन्द्र शयना। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा, सत्य साई महादेवा। मंगल आरती अंधुको, मंगल आरती अंधुको, बंदर गिरिधारी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। ओम सोमा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की।